because Foreigner on the Sejuani, whereas he is good at skirmish, he does not have that same power at level 1 that Aurelia does.
Certainly doesn't. Will we see anything take place at the level 1 mark is the question, as everybody looks to deploy on the map, and at this stage fan out in a 5-man rotation. Fun fact for you at home, the last time we did see the Gnar was in fact actually played by Zoranis, all the way back dating to Split 1 of this year in the playoffs. Nearly 4 months to the day. So all swings and roundabouts, the fashion comes back and he's ready to rock and roll.
I go, dude, he's using my skin as well. Purple Chroma Dino Gnar, if I saw that correctly. I remember that was my skin back in the day, Skimmy, back when I was a top laner. So, nice to see the flag is being carried on, as it is one of the goated Gnar skins. A lot of the skins that come out now just don't have that same, aura to them. Dino Gnar is a classic.
Wow, and I love that the observers have done this as well. The observers are already aware. It's like, we're talking about skins. Let's talk about mid lane, and let's continue to talk about you having this really big affinity to hating this one.
I just don't. This is not an auto-attacking Corki skin, but to be fair, last game he did run, Earthrider Corki, and because he didn't win, you cannot run the same skin back-to-back if you lost in it, right? You got to change it up, change the dynamic of the game, and, even though this is the AP iteration of Corki, good to see that he has changed the skin up, and he feels that, he's got those fresh kicks on.
He's ready to go. Yeah, that's it. Clean shoes, ready to rock and roll, and he's going to have to certainly look to trade fire with fire here. As Fido's going to show no signs of backing away from this one. And I'm curious to sort of see how this matchup will fare compared to that of the Akshan. Are we expecting to see almost a very similar situation here where it's a bit of a skill check? A
lot more trading in this matchup, especially, from the Tristana side. You always want to be jumping in because Corki does outrange you with the Phosphorus Bomb, like as we can see in this trade here. If Fido isn't jumping onto him with that, WE, as you do see from his skill levels, actually, he does have the QE. So if this trade does extend, it is nice for him. But, range advantage will go to Corki. We see Raze just eking him out, and this is one of the problems with running Bone Plate in the Corki. It is so easy to proc with so many spells, and there's going to be a sustain advantage and a health advantage and an XP advantage.
That's certainly what it is at this stage. We're not even taking stock of anybody else in the map. We're just locked in, watching a 1v1 take place. Flash and auto, and in the end, nothing comes of it. You're a bit confused by that one. Maybe a few question mark pings on the map, both smiling about how it's taken place, but now a massive beacon of come gank my lane. This mid laner has no flash.
Yeah, well played by Raze, but Fido finds a little bit of a trade for what looked like a very doomed lane. Does get to level 3 first because the wave was pushing away from him. There was more minions being killed on the enemy side, so he does get level 3 first. Flashes over the Phosphorus Bomb, is able to trade flashes, but Raze is gonna be able to base and get a much better buy than he is. And we already see Fido going for the cloth down because he feels like his lane is in quite a dire position right now.
Yeah, needs to make sure that he can get himself through this one. Given they put so many resources towards this, they first picked the Tristana. They forgot about the idea of locking in a Rumble. Wasn't even banned. And it has been a staple for such a long time. That wasn't the focus here. Both top laners opting for the bruises. Are there any concerns about a lack of AP damage, perhaps? Yes, there's a lot of hybrid AP damage, but is there any concern that they don't have an outright AP, much like the Lilia?
Oh, always. I think that if you're one-dimensional in your style, you're kind of forced to get a lead. If the game state does, end up being even, if both teams play these team fights equally well, you just aren't doing the same damage output. When these Ezreal Qs start landing onto the Cassante, they're just not going to do any damage because all of a sudden he has 3 armor items, he has a Frozen Art against 3 auto attackers. He's a bit of a brick, Skinny.
He is, and it almost makes me wish it was like a Maokai jungle, perhaps, right? You get the Leandries, you've got a little bit of AP to work around, but you can still function like a tank. I mean, I don't know if there's ever a world in which you want to go AP jungle Sejuani. That might be a little bit too far-fetched, but certainly maybe some concerns about what happens if we do fall behind again, and yeah, they can just build cloth armor for days. Let's see what takes place, though. Checking with top lane, and as to be expected of a Gnar, in the mini form, incredibly annoying, very fast. Once you get to Mega, though, you probably have the most HP in the game.
Yeah, but I also wanted to touch on the bot lane scheme. We saw that anti-bot lane was able to force Lemus to back with the Frozen Wave, but they decided to break the freeze to get a better buy onto Destiny, which is probably going to be that Tier Sheen recall against Double Longsword, which is going to be very, very good for him. Oh, it's going to be Double Longsword again because we can't afford Sheen's ever Skibby. It's been the same buy every single game we've seen from all these Ezreals. But, nice to see that this bot lane has had a different dynamic or a different look, We're expecting to see another domination happening in the bot lane, but just a much better job by the Antic side to be able to create a lead on what we consider was a very hard matchup for them.
Absolutely. So it's a vote of confidence that you can play this well into that Limus, aggressively jumping forward. Both junglers in the area. That's the reason why Fido was playing so aggressively. The bowling ball connects. The swell of the mace gets it done for First Blood. And Foreigner saying, well, I can answer back surely. And yes, he does. With the passive finally stacked up, both junglers are on the ball. Now, they might hunt for a little bit more, but unfortunately for Foreigner, he's been out-rotated as Kurek gets there just a fraction quicker than Draku.
I was surprised that Kurek was able to get here before Draku because, you know, we saw Kurek holding the bot wave, whereas Draku had that recall thanks to them, you know, finding the first base over the support because he was there to hold that wave for Limus to make sure he got all the resources. But, you know, good job by the ground zero support to be mid to back up his jungler, and just another classic that we see of this team playing so well for each other, enabling each other, and bailing Fighter out of a really bad scenario.
It certainly seems to be the hallmark of a great team, right? Is the ability for supports to read the map, understand the flow of things, and know when they can afford to leave their AD carry and when they need to group up with the rest of the team to heal and protect. Nice little pulverize combo there from Draku. Blocks in place too. Nothing to really come of it as a result, though. A little bit of chip damage that could favour Destiny, but Foreigner's going to turn his attention towards those very first spawns of the grubs. Meanwhile, Schönfire here to hover, here to protect, guarantee the scuttler, and perhaps look at the dragon after.
Yeah, and we do see the tabbies being completed as well by Fido, whereas they are not, you know, a good item into Corki because a lot of his damage is front-loaded in his spells, not his auto-attack. It's just nice for Tristana to have this game because you are versing, you know, 3 auto-attacking champions, and you're going to be able to mitigate a lot of that damage in these skirmishes. And once again, I was talking about how Schönweih can really put the foot on the pedal and take over the game because in his 1v1 he is, you know, much more comfortable than the Sedge. So he is going for that invade, is trying to split the map and make sure that Limus is as comfortable as possible to scale up this game.
Seems to be the case, doesn't it? That keep them back, make sure that the Alistair aggression is stemmed for the meantime. No funny business where the Ezreal gets to, you know, push their lead. Both this time opting for the cleanse. No TP shenanigans this time around. Not that we really got to we didn't really see too much to come off the triple TP versus the 2 in the last game, but to be expected, right? When you are playing the hyper carry, you want to make sure you got everything at your disposal so you can 1v9.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is just going to be very, very even game state in the early game. The lanes that are counter-picked do have leads, but we are seeing the dive onto the top side, and you know, will DN be able to buffer this?
Well, he's going to jump on in. He's going to get cracked by the rocket as well from downtown. It's going to be the first kill going the way of Tien. They've taken down the jungler to be ganked. Oh, and a flash forward to try and catch him off guard there with that third and Tofo strike. If they'd found that, I tell you what, Tien really would have solidified himself as the GOAT right there. Is to be denied. But it's a nice little indication as to how this matchup can play out.
You won't believe it, Skimmy, but Tien apparently does have hands, you know. Is able to time the Pathmaker. Pretty much the dive interaction there was if he gets his Pathmaker off before the, you know, the Na ult comes out or the Sejuani ult, he will win that dive, and if not, he will get one shot. So, you know, he does find the Pathmaker to be able to buffer the CC, lands the double stun off to both members.
They do kind of miss it. Yeah, I'll burn in 5 minutes, but that's beside the point. We're back into the game. Thank you for listening to Storytime with Skimmy and Tally. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a whole lot from our ramblings, but we're back to business. We get to witness what takes place here, and we get to see that yet again, we're in a very close, even game state.
You're already seeing Iron Spikes come out of Foreigner right now, and he is, you know, piling towards the bot side here, so I think that Antic will be quite happy to match this fight if the Dragon is pulled right now. Even though Raze doesn't have much mana to himself, does have that cookie. Schönfire could get caught out on the Dragon, especially with you know, the lockdown coming out of Foreigner, but doesn't have access to that glacial prison yet, so curious to see if this is something they do want to contest for, as Draco doesn't have that level 6 as well, so they are playing on time to be able to find a little bit of advantage, but this could be a fight they do want to take, Skinny.
Yeah, 6 fan now on vision. The collapse is beginning, and it's not going to be stolen away on this occasion, but a fight will break out. Limus instant flashed away, showing respect. No birdie on him, but it's a triple sleep. That is disgusting to be cleansed out of, and to be immune from the Alistair ult. The stun connection, but still living. Get him down. How is Bambi still prancing around in this jungle? I'll never quite know. Blast Cone actually really saves that Raze on that occasion. And just look how low everybody is. It's a surprise that not more, but just a couple fell down.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there with the Blast Cone, but I think he might have flashed over to get the auto attack as the Buster Shot did come out, so it knocked him back as he took the Blast Cone. Instead of sitting up in the air, he went flying away. But surprised that was only a, I believe, 1-for-1 Skimmy. It looked like that would have been a very, very nice fight for Ground Zero with, you know, the 3-man sleep coming out. But Raze just didn't have the resources to be able to take that one over. But you know, if he does land a phosphorus bomb, this might be a kill for himself.
Ooh, very, very close. Certainly a lot of aggression found there with the home guard TP to good use to rock up to the lane. and make sure that you send Fido right back from where he came from. Let's go back on this replay initially.
Yeah, so we do see, Antic initially going onto Schoenfire. The Q Flash from Dracu does not land, but the triple sleep does. But, Cleanse being there for the Ezreal, the Unbreakable Will for the Alistar, can absorb so much of the damage, but it took so long for the members to be able to take him down. But, coming out of the replay into another fight, Skimmy.
That we certainly are, and it's a connection of so much damage. In the end, it's Destiny that snipes her all the way from downtown bot lane.
Oh.
Might actually die as a result of that one, unless the tower can help. But no, getting excited really does just that and bails you out of a pretty dire spot.
Yeah, curious how that one actually happened, if that was, Destiny not looking at his screen and getting picked off, but Antic's still gonna find the grubs what they really want. Really nice buffer from Fido there, which is a hard one to react to in the Alistar combo.
Yeah, certainly is, but a master on the champion. May have versed that umpteen times before, has the steady hands, has the confidence, the self-belief to make it matter when it does count on these stage games. Let's run it back one more time, because it initially starts with Destiny being down to 50% when he cast that ult.
Yeah, so he's already just getting chunked out. Oh no, yeah, doing the classic, like, I landed my W, I need to E here, but, Lima's just spacing him out, walks him down the line and picks himself up a very easy kill for himself. Constellation prize for Destiny was his ult did pick up the kill there, so, he is, not too far behind Limas, just going to be the CS lead that we are seeing right now. But, looking at the inventories right now, we are seeing Triforce components from both carries of Antic, and when those do come online, this is when they will spike, because there is just not going to be the same power coming out of the Kraken from both the members of Ground Zero.
Absolutely, yeah. A massive spike at the same time certainly would lend them the perfect timing, and it could actually work out phenomenally with the next spawning of the Dragon, certainly with the next coming of that Herald, and with 6 stacks of the Void Grubs as well. If they get any opportunity late game when the respawn time is for 30 seconds and counting, towers are gone.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They're just gone, especially when you have, access to all these grubs. This is probably one of the win conditions of this team. Even though they are, full AD, they do have these winning side lanes in the Gnar versus the Cassandre. So if Zarnis does get a little bit of a window into the 1v1 on TN, especially since he has gone for that Zeke's, which is, a team fighting option. Very cheap item, gives you the armor and MR, and that AoE slow. So it's just a very nice item to have in the early game. Since it is so cheap, gives you a bit of combat power in the early game where you can bridge, that major downtime for the champion. And it's just a nice item to have overall, and I think that, we are seeing it being picked up a lot by, champs like Olaf, even Foreigner has it this game. Just champs who can really just get in there, who need a bit of resistances, and just this cheap item to make them come online.
Well, that's it. Both sides having it up and available for them certainly could be the difference in obtaining the perfect amount of uptime for these AD carries to work their magic. You mentioned before, 2 Trinity Forces could be the big turning point in the game that could favor Antic's projection back into this one. And certainly would like to see it be that case with the 30 seconds now on that major objective spawning. All about that wave clear now, all about priming yourself for the perfect reset to get in the right spot at the right time and prevent any kind of crazy shenanigans with face-checking brushes. Both supports in the area hovering, waiting, just seeing, testing the waters. And then some pings actually from the Antic side to say, let's play towards bot side, let's punish this Jinx.
Ooh, we do see Limas muscling out Destiny there, but I think that Destiny, with his item advantage, had the 1v1 to be able to push him out. Schoenfire is coming around though. Destiny does have access to the cleanse, but no Arcane... Oh, does have the Arcane Shift back now. No flash for himself, so if it is committal from Schoenfire there, it's just going to be the trade of the ult for the cleanse, but I don't expect Ground Zero to want to contest this Dragon, just based on what we're seeing in the inventories right now, Skinny.
Would seem to be the case right there. Nice stun up from Kurak, making sure that Draco doesn't find himself the perfect headbutt pole. Gonna slowly clear out the vision at Grand Zero had planted beforehand, take back control of the river, and then actually instantly start up this Dragon. Nobody has an idea from Antic, or rather from Grand Zero's side. Antic certainly do, because they're the ones doing it, but as a 3-man squad, they'll complete it in a heartbeat. And Raze with the first move to lead mid.
Yeah, double Krakens picked up on the recall there, so, both members from Ground Zero, both carries, can, match up to some of the DPS that they need to do in the game right now. But Triforce is just an overall stronger item, going to be better in your skirmishes, and Draco's just going to get poked out a bit by Schoenfire here and just, trade the headbutt. Try walk it off, but a lot of health he's going to be missing here, Skimmy.
He's going to lose a lot of health in the process, and look, he might actually just turn it around on him and say, it's a bait, it's a trap, you thought I was low, watch this. Out goes the Glacial Prison, and Schoenfire no longer for the world, unfortunately. Both the AD carries with those Triforce spikes are the ones that pick up all the gold.
Yeah, and TP coming out of there from Zornis. Ult is coming out, going to go wide. Raze isn't, committing the teleport to the top. They value the mid turret more than the top tower here. Could have thrown his TP up to the top side to be able to get that wave to make sure no trade was happening, but wants to keep his top tower up in health, mid tower up and healthy to make sure that, the map doesn't get blown open quite yet. Is going to be, probably committing the teleport to the top now because Destiny isn't in mid lane. He is able to catch all this farm, and, we see the inventory skimmy. It's looking extremely, extremely good for Antic right now, even though we are still seeing the gold lead slightly in favor of Ground Zero. It's in the jungle position, and if Schoenfire is going to be the one to fall down, as I mentioned, it's easy to lock up, thanks to the CC from the Alistar and the Sejuani. These two carries will blow the champ up.
And I think it was a really good play there from Dracu, quite honestly. Looked like he was just going to get slowly whittled on down, falls back to his tower, and the fight was going to work against him. But says, enough is enough. It's my turn to turn it around, and ultimately gifted them a phenomenal little team fight victory. I'm curious, though, without knowing all the math behind it, at what point the crit scalers of the Tristana and Jinx start to take over, whether or not that be the second item with 50% crit to their name or not. Because as it stands, I'm sure Antic are chopping at the bit to say, let's fight, 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 whilst it's still even.
I don't think there's a clear point in the game until I don't know. I would consider Bloodthirst, or when lifesteal items start coming through, is when you can eat up the Ezreal's damage and not really care too much about it, and just pretty much just stand and deliver against the champion. But until that point, I always gotta give it in favor of the champions who just have this front-loaded kit, especially paired up with CC. Schoenfire, if he does get hit by that Sejuani ult, if there is the WR coming out of Destiny, there's going to be so much damage onto these crucial members, and Fido might be caught out of position if Draco wants to go for this dive.
Certainly could be. Out goes the headbutt Pulverize, but buffered once again, spacing it out. Auto. This time going to be locked in place because there is the Pulverize, and they're gifting it across to Zoranis, and that's the opportunity then for Grand Zero to try and fight in the mid lane instead. One kill goes their way to sleep onto Folders, not to be enough, and look at those blinking health bars. If only there was a true shot barrage now.
Oh, that was extremely close. Have to see that one in a replay of what really happened there. We do see the flash being on cooldown from Ray, so I expect that was a really nice engage from the Ground Zero members to punish him on the mid lane. Very, very quiet, top lane performances right now, but, do go into the replay here. This tower is very low. This might have been a bit of an overextension from Antic to really defend this one, as we do see the stun does land, even though the Valkyrie goes off. So it's just, very, very nice pickup by Kirak there, and just very, very close, almost a trade for the Antic members there.
That hurts, doesn't it? That's a case of regret where you're like, I wish I started with the Flash and the Valkyrie afterwards, given that all the right moves were done, but the sequence of events meant that you were still locked in place, and that's all Kirak needed to book his ticket to take him down. Still, very quiet on the kill front. Only 11 kills in 18 minutes of gameplay so far. Certainly is a story of two teams highly regarded at the top of the table. Nothing really blowing wide open, and as you mentioned just before, a very quiet game for Tien. Yes, he's had a brilliant little bit of magic when the camera has been on him, but very content just to push up that top wave, farm up, get his items, and be a contender when the true 5v5s begin.
Yeah, not quite in the sense where he's not having a performance. He's just, doing his job as the person who blind picked and got himself in the unfavorable matchup. Being able to stay even in the farm and be able to muscle out Nah on the silent in this 1v1, especially when you do not have these, combat items that you would think of in the Frozen Fist, going for that support item where you're not going to get value unless you throw out that ulti. Still winning out the 1v1 is very good, sights for Ground Zero right now.
So it is really good sights. Both junglers find each other in the Antic side of the map. Actual Glacial Prison committed from Frona there, thinking they may have just had the jump on towards Schoenfire. Wasn't to be, though. The damage profile, not enough from that of an Ezreal without an ultimate. He gets to live another day. Thankfully for him, Schoen's flash wasn't up and available. Will be now, but it could have been a very scary situation otherwise.
Yeah, and I think that this game state is very, very nice for Ground Zero. Do have it. Well, I think this is one of their strengths. They always seem to have priority in all their lanes, regardless of what is going on in the game. But Antic are walking in without that ult on Foreigner right now.
There is Dracu starting things off. Two-man pole, lands it, locks it down, but it gets rooted in place by the Jinx. Chompers gets put to sleep now as a result, and without the Indomitable Will is not long for this world. Tien on the flank trying to hold off Zoranis, flashes forward, but doesn't get hit by the Entofo strikes. Beautifully spaced out there by Zoranis on that occasion. But the damage is already being done. Both supports have fallen on down, and this is the story of these fights, isn't it? It's just very slim pickings.
Yeah, trade of supports in the skirmish right now, but that will be the Dragon picked up for Ground Zero. And look at the jungle, Skinny. Look at what is happening. A 3-level lead for Schoenfire. Was falling down in all these team fights, but, when the downtime was happening, he was picking up all these camps. He is invading consistently, stealing away as much as he can. and he already has himself 2 items in those, double burn items, which is so crucial. And he's picked himself up a 3-level lead.
Yeah, he's massive, absolutely. And no doubt once Leandri's comes, or rather Zhonya's comes online, going to be pretty hard to take on down. Frona, though, I'm sure once he gets that Warbox complete, probably thinks, you know what, I'm full build. Doesn't really matter if I'm behind this much. I can bait the Baron, I can, empower with extra lockdown from the Zeeks. Job well done. Fighter, though, going to take an opportunity whilst nobody is there to respond, just to push out another tower. Very much the same case as it was in game 1 of always having that tower lead. And they've got to be concerned about that Baron attempt, and that's why ANC instantly look towards the mid lane. They put all their attention onto Kurak. Maybe not the target they want, but that is the target they'll find. And that's not the target they needed, because in the end, it means that Jinx has all the time in the world to do as she pleases. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but with Lemus getting excited, he'll find himself a double. Fido also gets to the mix and gets a kill too, and that feels rough when you're the team to engage, but the one to lose out.
Yeah, I was about to talk about how, this is Antic's time to shine. They finally have 2 items on their Ezreal and their Corki, so it's, their time to really come online, but we get to see what happens again. We see Antic going for that engage onto Kurak, blowing cooldowns onto the, the tank again, and their backline is left exposed, and Lemus and, Shern are just doing so much in these team fights.
Yeah, it's a very curious case of why do we keep focusing Kurak all series long, but credit is due. They've found an opportunity, they've punished Antic, and not only have they taken a tower, they've opened up the base with an inhibitor as well, already at 22 minutes. And this is what both games have been like, right? Quiet until one small moment very late on.
Yeah, and I think that this is what Ground Zero do so well at. They're just so good at being in the right place at the right time. They only, put themselves in susceptible positions when their team is there to back them up, and we get to see Lemus on the mid wave, contesting it because he knows his team is there to follow up, and there are so many crucial members from his team who are ready to clean up if he is the one to fall down.
Let's see then what it means for the scope of this one, whether or not there's any concerns that Antic are out of this, if that was the game-breaking play. Initially, it's going towards Lemus. An instant flash away is the difference.
Yeah, I get the look skimmy. They want to punish the no cleanse onto Lemus with the Sejuani ult, but unfortunately, there's just not an engage angle if you're coming from the front, as Kurak is there. And when that initial engage doesn't go well, you are not going to win the front to back against these crit 80 carries. A lot of your damage is front-loaded, and it needs to land.
Well, the second time for them to try and fight fire with fire is, let's look at the Baron. Can we go for the steal? No, we cannot. Frona tried to do as much as he could. Has done an effort, but not enough in the end. Too steady out of the hands of Schernfire. Too much is the damage of the double Kraken Slayer spec. 80 carries. And surely with this one, they look to go marching through the mid lane. So you can have the 6 Void Grubs, but what does it matter if you never get to hit a tower?
Level 15 on the Lilia, almost even as one of the highest levels in the game, but also almost 10 CS per minute on jungle right now, Skimmy. So that is a very unheard of or rare thing to see in the jungle role, but this is just what Schernfire excels at. This is what he's so comfortable doing, being put on these mage junglers, farming up a storm, and just taking over these team fights.
Level lead, Flame Horizon, name a few more accolades, add it to the pile because he's putting on a bit of a clinic so far. Draku teasing, Hex Slash open, ready to try and find what he can go after, and Kurak is the bait yet again. Instant flash away to safety. Double ults committed towards him, and Raze is there to weave in that final auto attack to do it justice. No inhibitor falls on down. At least Antic answer back, but with those Baron-inspired recalls, Draku's unable to find that one.
They are chasing Skimmy, and Draku does have the inside track onto these members. There is the TP on TN if they do want to play for this, 3v3 with Destiny being there in the backside, but double pulverize.
No way. There's no way. Lemus outside of the bush. Has he griefed? I think he has. That's crazy. They had no blue trinket. They had no vision. Surely they had no right picking up those kills. Ooh. And that is such a small oversight, which really pays off dividends here for Antic.
Yeah, what a cleanup for these, Antic members. They find all the gold onto the correct member as well. This is all going onto the Corki, but, he is going for the rapid fire cannon, which it could be a mistake. Skimmy doesn't have the LDR, which is going to be able to allow him to get through all the armor that's going to start coming out of all these members. But, also look at the other side, there is no Frozen Heart happening yet, and this is probably a saving grace for the Antic side. They aren't, in that dire strait of we don't do damage to you guys yet because there's just not the armor coming out.
Really isn't. You look at the gold though, and it really is the Raze show at this stage. The only person
and just enjoy the power of what is happening right now in this game.
Well, we're back in, and what we see is no signs of slowing down. Tien, unfortunately, on this occasion, gets caught apart, and
That's
you
gonna
can
be the
as big
dragon
as you like. but that was the Dragon that would have put them on a soul point, and yeah, not anymore.
And, you know, if they can kill the tank like that in front of the turret, in front of the, you know, Tristana, who is, you know, going to do so much damage to these members if left untouched, this might not be such a one-sided game anymore, Skimmy, and this might be aggression coming out of them again. They don't even want the Dragon.
Look at Raze, though, flanking as a Corki. Would you believe it? Out goes the face check. Boom! Look at that! Nice slide stem! Up against the wall. Hit as many as you can. But it makes it so easy for that lilting lullaby to land. And look at the reset city. Who's touching Limus? Absolutely nobody. He's getting excited. Fido's rocket jumping left, right, and center. In the end, he finally gets taken on down. But Schernfire showcases why he has so much farm, so many levels, and may just be the best AP jungler in the league.
I love watching Antics, Skimmy, because, you know, what do you want, Skimmy? Free Dragon, you know, uncontested Infernal Dragon, very nice having all this extra damage on your carries and just buying yourself a bit more time in the game. Or Burger Flip Tower Dive on mid lane.
You're always going to take the gamble, and that's exactly what they've done here. And you just have to wonder, why?
Yeah, you know, I'll ask myself that question for a very long time, but this is what they want to do. They want to be, you know, pulling the trigger. They want to use the fact that Tien is still dead, but they just can't find the access onto the crucial members. And with Destiny falling down straight away, there's only one carry threat in Raze left, and he just doesn't have what he needs to be able to completely take over the game himself yet.
Well, what you're thinking was a freebie for Antic tonight to buy themselves another 5 minutes. Well, it's definitely gone against them. You're thinking, Trinity Force, make it free. We have so much damage. Surely that's enough. But if we are to believe that the item breakpoint is triple crit items with now a Bloodthirster done for Jinx, I mean, who's getting to Limus? This entire series, he's been untouchable.
Yeah, and I think this is the new... the fad when it comes to the crit builds in 80 carries is just, you know, going for that lifesteal as a third item, because you don't really need the damage on these champs a lot of the times. You just need the ability to, you know, survive in these fights and just be able to navigate so much of this poke that comes out of members like Fran, Zyra, and anything. But Skimmy, I'm going to give it back to you because another fight's happening.
Well, so yeah, as we go in once again with a two-man knock-up. Pulverize gets it started. Glacier Prison to follow things up, but no kills to be found. A one-man sleep onto Draco with no ultimate. Doesn't seem to matter. Out goes the Solar Flare to lock them down inside their own part of the jungle. And yet again, pure frustration here for Antic, wanting to get the jump on the opposition, unable to find the kills, unable to find the right targets, and now forced to limp back to base, down a man.
Yeah, and it's just, Grounds are pretty much just mustering them out. They're using single man Lilial onto the support. You know, why can they take down Draku, but Antic can't take down Kurak in these fights? It just feels like there's just way too much damage differential happening right now in this game.
Yeah, it's a bit of concern, and here we go one more time, looking towards Destiny. He flashes out to safety, back to the fountain, just on his doorstep. And look at those towers. The Nexus is getting more and more exposed by the day. They've taken 2 inhibitors now, both synced up at 4.5 minutes. True Shot Barrage, it just tickles them. It just merely tickles them. That's 3 items complete, but I didn't see the health bar move.
Yeah, this is one of the problems with the Ezreal, but, you know, maybe this does extend even more, Skimmy. So there's Zorinus falling down. I don't think they can finally get any more members here, but if they do want to stay around with the lifesteal, Baron is spawning. This is probably going to be a very easy pickup for them. I don't think Antic are in a position where they can really contest this one, but they might feel forced to anyway.
But it feels like if there was the burger flip of all burger flips, this would be just that. It's going to be a Hail Mary. It's a case of if we don't do it, we may just bleed out and lose anyway, so might as well throw caution to the wind. Will they find an opportunity to even look at it? They're not even positioned in a way that would indicate they're looking for that play, and Baron will just fall on down in a heartbeat. That's the second one back-to-back. And this will be Grand Zero saying, we've got an 8k gold lead. There is no chance.
And this is, you know, as Pike did bring up in the cast, like, why isn't everyone as players rule? Why is it, you know, just, it looks so strong, but not everyone is prioritizing it. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why he can't really itemize Armor Pen as well as other 80 carries, because, you know, going for the Scroller's Grudge doesn't get full value on the item because he doesn't itemize any lethality. If he goes for the LDR, there's a crit item in there, so, you know, he's not getting full value on the crit. Same with, you know, if he wants to go for a cleaver, this is an item that you need to stack up onto champions. It's not just going to give you that straight up front armor pen. So Ezreal he's a really good champ, but in isolation, Limus is caught out.
Limus has been called out, and finally, they take down that pesky Jinx. Fido answers back instantly by taking down Foreigner. He's got the reset. Grand Zero are inspired. They're enraged that their AD carry has finally been taken on down. Someone is flanking on the side, hoping, hunting.
Look at the base.
Waiting for a blast code and a flash to land that devastating four-man slam against the wall, but it's just never coming. It is simply never coming. Ground Zero do this meticulous dance of you need to go back to your base because the Winions are simply ending the game.
And they get a tower, and this is, what I keep talking about with Ground Zero. It's kind of like a Hydra scheme, Even though they cut off the Lemus head, all of a sudden there's the Schoenfire head and the Fighter head who are doing so much damage in this fight. So you have to take them all down at the same time or, really sear them out to make sure they can't regrow and have all these different threats from multiple angles, because if you have to blow all your resources to take down one crucial member, it's just not going to stick.
It's just not enough, as you say. The coordinated effort onto one person simply doesn't do the damage, doesn't do the justice at this point. As in jumps Zonus, he gets put to sleep. Night, bedtime. He's gone for 50. As Fido finds himself a 7th, make it 8th kill with the double kill, getting it done right now. Schoenfire unbelievably far ahead, as if he wasn't already. A rocket from one base to the other, and an ace of all aces to close out game 2.
Yeah, a triple kill picked up with Fido. You know what, Skimmy, I gotta say this was a much closer performance than game 1, even though it is quite a clean performance for Ground Zero. They did pick up the win in the end. I think that Antic with this roster swap have shown that they do have potential, and it is nice to see that it's not going to be a 2-team league anymore. I think there is some more to say from our 3rd place in Antic, and what is that going to look like going forward. But once again, well played Ground Zero. They are our secured 1st seed of the regular season, and are they going to keep this solid performance going into playoffs?
That's exactly right there, Telly. 21 points from all 21 up and available. Not a single game dropped. They've had their moments where they've been tested, but they've never shown signs of